Peter Griffin, with the intellect of a child and a notable lack of social awareness, has often displayed racist behavior and made discriminatory remarks, all in the name of satire and generating laughs. Let's join Quahog Corner in revisiting the moments when Peter showcased these actions in the Family Guy series. Now, grab your headphones, get your popcorn and soda, and let's dive in. Let's start with one of Peter's closest friends, Cleveland. During one occasion when Peter invited Cleveland to play golf, he encouraged Cleveland by saying he could be the first black person to play golf and would leave a big impression on everyone.
Cleveland, this is Barrington. You could be the first black guy ever to play this course. People are going to be impressed.
While Peter's comment might not seem overly offensive at first glance, it subtly implies that golf is an elite sport reserved for white people and black individuals are excluded from it. On another occasion, when Cleveland was invited to play golf again, he once more became the target of Peter's racial insensitivity. Perhaps Peter didn't want Cleveland to attract attention, or maybe he felt uncomfortable playing golf with a black person, so he suggested Cleveland wear a white person's mask.
It's Cleveland I'm worried about.
Peter, is this really necessary? I can't hardly see anything.
When they were nearly caught, Peter even showed fear, making it clear that our guy Peter is a bona fide racist. Despite being close friends in the same group, Cleveland seems to always be the target of Peter's racial jokes. Outwardly, Peter appears friendly with Cleveland, but who knows what's really going on inside. In another instance, when Cleveland was busy and couldn't stay home, he asked Peter to help collect his mail. Instead of simply delivering it, Peter brought the mail home and intended to read it. Although Lois tried to stop him, Peter argued that black people are different from us, so it was okay to read their mail.
Black guy mail!
Peter, you're just supposed to pick up Cleveland's mail, not go through it.
Lois, black people are different than you and I.
Peter took his racism to a whole new level, casually invading the privacy of a black person without any sense of guilt. Or take the time when Donna, Cleveland's wife, invited families over to their house. While everyone else acted normally, Peter showed discomfort at having to sit at the same table with many black people. He even warned others not to get too used to being around black folks, as if it were some kind of dirty act.
Everyone, don't get too used to being around black people, because we are going to Washington, D.C.
As the series progresses, Peter's racism seems to escalate compared to the earlier seasons. Another friend of Peter, Jerome, joined the group after Cleveland left for a while. Chris started dating Pam, Jerome's daughter, and brought her home to meet the family. Lois and Peter tried to show that they weren't prejudiced, but Jerome didn't see it that way. In fact, this was one of the rare moments where we see a black character being racist towards a white person. Jerome didn't approve of his daughter dating a white guy. Despite Peter's attempts to prove he wasn't racist, some of his actions made Jerome think otherwise, like when Peter sang a song glorifying white people. While Jerome was driving them around to look for the kids, Peter even made a snide remark about finding a zoo, which came off as a racist jab at Jerome.
Are you here against your will, sir?
If you're asking if I'd rather be at the zoo, then yes.
In the end, Peter drew a clear line, saying white is white, black is black, and races should be kept separate, and forbade Chris from associating with black people.
Jerome is right. White is white, black is black. Gotta keep the races completely separate. Chris, from now on, I don't want you talking to any black people.
To Peter, it seems like being black is something shameful. His two friends, Cleveland and Jerome, are prime examples of this attitude, but that's not all. When his family's lives were threatened by an escaped convict, the FBI suggested relocating him to the Deep South.
Well, until we catch this guy, you'll be relocated to the Deep South.
Peter described the place as having lazy black people and lazy white people who were annoyed by the lazy black people. This shows that even when actions are equal, deep down, white people still look down on black people, even though the only difference between them is skin color.
Oh, Deep South. Isn't that the place where the black guys are really lazy and all the white guys are just as lazy, but they're mad at the black guys for being so lazy?
One time, when Peter heard that the Earth was about to face the apocalypse, he decided to go big, heading to a black neighborhood and shouting at the top of his lungs to see what would happen.
Peter, where are you going?
Last day on Earth, last chance to do this. I'm going into the inner city and I'm gonna yell the N-word.
It seemed like Peter had been waiting for this day for a long time, just looking for an excuse, like the end of the world, to finally make it happen. Another time, when Lois and Peter were planning a getaway for Carter and his wife to Florida, Carter objected. But as soon as he voiced his opinion, Peter shot back with, "Black people's votes go right in the garbage."
Wait a minute, why would I want to live in Florida?
Black people's votes go right in the garbage.
All right, we're moving to Florida.
In this context, the remark was just meant to shut down Carter's argument, but in reality, it carried a much deeper meaning, hinting at how black people's votes are often disregarded or treated as mere formalities, lacking any real value in the eyes of America. Peter doesn't just make comments, he even buys DVDs about black people who love fighting in the streets to watch. He goes on to clarify that they don't just enjoy brawling in the streets, but also in their own neighborhoods.
Your father got a DVD of black people fighting in the street.
It's not just in the streets, some of them are in private residences.
It seems Peter scrutinizes black people very closely, from disliking them and being prejudiced to nitpicking every gesture and action they make. But it's not just black people. Peter also discriminates against other ethnicities and races he doesn't like. In episode 1 of season 2, when Peter and his family have dinner with Jonathan and his wife at a floating restaurant by the seaside, Peter shares a story about a cruise after Jonathan's wife mentions their recent trip around the world on a yacht. In his story, Peter talks about a black-blooded dog that smelled like a dead otter, and when taken to the vet, it turned out to be a giant, stinky Mexican rat.
All right, this guy's on his boat in the middle of the ocean, right? And he sees a little black dog. So the guy takes the dog into the vet. And the freaking vet tells him, get this, it's not a dog, it's a rat. A big, stinking Mexican rat.
On top of that, the band Peter hired was a mariachi band, a symbol of Mexican culture. This is Peter's way of showcasing class discrimination, especially against immigrant groups, particularly Mexicans, who are often stereotyped as doing low-class, menial jobs and being there just to entertain Americans. Perhaps the most hated ethnic group in America is the Jewish people. In one instance, when Peter takes Brian to play golf, Peter's uncle, Angus Griffin, teaches his friends the rules of golf. No Jews and no blacks.
Yeah, you know, my great-great-great-uncle Angus Griffin invented the game. So we're all clear on the rules then. No Jews and no blacks.
Hey!
The statement is short, to the point, but carries an incredibly strong message of racial discrimination. Not just against black people, but also against Jewish people who have historically been oppressed by Americans. Additionally, Hawaii is also where Peter shows his discriminatory and hateful attitude, as it's a place he simply doesn't like. After bringing Stewie back from the children's shelter, the whole family throws a celebration with their neighbors. Peter unexpectedly makes a remark about everyone around him, suggesting they could be black, disabled, etc., but he just can't stand Hawaiians if they come here.
I'd like to propose a toast to our neighbors. Sure, they may be black, handicapped, and a heartless sex hound, but hey, if they moved out, some smelly Hawaiians might move in.
This statement touches on too many ethnicities, not just people of color and the disabled, specifically Joe, but also belittles the Hawaiians, whom Peter has previously described as just short people in skirts dancing around with only one dance move. Peter's discrimination isn't just about race, he also scrutinizes the culture and traditions of Hawaii. On another occasion, when recounting his terrible trip to Hawaii, a place he absolutely despises, Peter, right after getting off the plane, tells the tour guide about all the things he dislikes to ensure he has a good time. Among those dislikes are black people and Asians, which surprises the tour guide and leaves Lois speechless as she's all too familiar with Peter's antics.
Okay, before you do anything else, I'm deathly allergic to pineapple, pork, rum, macadamia nuts, stupid tiny guitars, overpriced golf, sentimental military stuff, lava, people who I can't tell are black or Asian, apostrophes, anyone twirling flames, second weddings, and linen pants.
Directly addressing a person of color about this stuff is pretty cringeworthy, even though Peter usually talks behind their backs. It seems like Peter's attitude towards people of color is getting more and more tense. The land right below the United States, South America, is also a place Peter criticizes multiple times in the show. One notable instance is when he gets arrested due to a misunderstanding by the police, who thinks he's a robber. When Joe shouts out that the real thief is still out there, Peter immediately compares it to South America, a place he claims harbors black people and serves as a hideout for criminals or anyone in trouble.
Guys, you gotta let us out of here. The real criminal's getting away.
Yeah, the bastard's making a break for it, just like South America.
This remark isn't just sarcastic, it also implies a comparison, equating black people to criminals or drug dealers who flee to South America, where the law is nothing more than a puppet. Beyond those regions, Asia also becomes a target for Peter's cold indifference. While playing with a toy train set for kids at a shopping mall, Peter suddenly monologues about the train's journey. He says if it moves too slowly, Sandra Bullock, a famous American actress, might end up marrying a fascist and adopting a black child.
But be careful, Peter. If this train slows to less than 50 miles an hour, then Sandra Bullock has to marry a neo-Nazi and act like she didn't know about it and then overcompensate by adopting a black kid.
Turns out, it's not just Peter, according to his perception. The entire United States discriminates against Asians and looks down on people of color, including both adults and children.
Lois, I need $28,000.
For what?
I've decided I want to open a sushi restaurant.
Peter even once considered investing $28,000 to open a sushi restaurant just so he could yell at Asian customers, and of course, black customers too.
Irashaimase! Hajimemashite! Here comes our black guy!
Lois found the idea ridiculous, and it seems Peter is determined to belittle black people wherever he can, even while being prejudiced against Asians.
Holy crap, I'm black!
Finally, during a trip to the Quahog Public Library with Chris to learn about the Griffin family history, Peter discovers he has African American roots. He learns that his ancestor, Nate Griffin, was black. Afterward, Peter tries to act and live like a true black man, but the black community doesn't accept him because his skin color doesn't match theirs.
In 1840, Nathaniel Nate Griffin used to groom horses. What the hell? Holy crap, I'm black!
In the end, Nate Griffin appears to Peter and explains the essence of being black, and more importantly, how to behave like a real man, not based on skin color. Whether Peter truly learned anything from that experience remains a mystery. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.